This video is instruction on how to graph circles. You'll see here on my smartboard page, I have the equation of a circle. And this particular equation says that my center is located at 1, -3, and my radius is 3. I want to graph that on my calculator. So the first thing that I have to do is solve for y. Remember, your calculator is in function mode. So when I do the algebra to solve this equation for y, I have to remember that when I take the square root and undercover that square, that I must take the positive and the negative square root of one side. Doing that and then solving for y results in my last and final equation, which is, of course, ready to be put into my calculator since I've solved for y. So I'm going to put in -3 second square root 9 minus x minus 1, close that parenthesis, and square. Now, if I only graph one part of that, and I see I've forgotten my plus out at the front of the radical, so I'm going to cursor and second insert, and I'm going to add a plus sign. So now I have my function correctly. I've got -3 plus the square root of 9 minus x minus 1 squared. If I were to graph right now with only the positive root taken, and we can do that, I'm only going to get half of a circle. If I go over back to y and cursor to y2 and put in the other root, -3 minus the square root of 9 minus x minus 1 squared, and hit my graph, I'm going to have a full circle. Now, many of you, I'm going to go to zoom and I'm going to do number 6 standard because many of you are probably in that mode. And when I hit graph, that circle doesn't look like a circle. It looks like an oval or an ellipse. So instead, I'm going to go back now to zoom and say square up my window, number 5. Remember, if I look at my window of my calculator, it is rectangular. But in a standard, I'm going from -10 to +10 on the x, -10 to +10 on the y, and those tick marks are going to be different amounts of space because it's a rectangular window. So if I choose number 5 and square up my window, making the tick marks the same distance on both the x and the y, I then will get a graph of a circle. Yes, there are gaps here, and that's just because it's those two separate functions being graphed, but they do in fact will make a full circle.